Hope my YouTube subscribers are having an awesome day. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe beneath. I'm sharing good free content. Now, the 3 best part-time shifts, and I'm basing this on stats. I'm basing this on looking at graphs of other drivers in other cities. I travel a lot, and there's a pattern here, right? And I just want to share this pattern. Many people that join Uber and Lyft are doing it as a part-time gig. I would almost say most of the people are doing it as a part-time gig. Maybe you're a student, you have a couple of hours in the morning, a couple of hours in the evening, or maybe you want to do a couple of hours on a Friday or Saturday night, right? Maybe you have, maybe you're a realtor and you want to network in the Lux SUV sections and you want a couple of part-time hours, right? What I want to show you here is that the 12, 7.5, 6 hours, I'm going to explain what this means. And there's a little follow-up video where I actually go close up into these graphs. We've got a Monday, Tuesday graph, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday graph, right? And if you've ever opened your Lyft app, you will see this little graph based on the hours on a particular day in your particular city. By the way, this graph, Monday to Sunday, right, for any metropolitan city, for any smaller city, there are specific graphs, right? If there are airports in the city, if there are restaurants, nightlife areas, business districts, people have to go to work, right? In the morning, people have to go to work, go home after work. It's the same pattern for any small national or international city. And the bottom line is, I looked at the Vegas graphs, I looked at the Arizona graphs, I looked at the Hawaii graphs where I operate in, the LA graphs. They all follow the same guidelines. So let's talk about the Lyft demand on Monday and Tuesdays. This is in Los Angeles. And I tell you what, I have compared these graphs to most cities, large cities, metropolitan cities, and the graph is all the same. As I've always said, if you are willing to get in the car around the 5:30, 6 a.m., you have a huge spike on every weekday, including the weekends, which means people are going to go out to the airport or to work, right? It truly dies down around the 9 a.m. mark, and there is a big slope, a downtime between 10, 11, picks up sort of 11:30. There's a little mid-afternoon pickup, when people go on lunch and that. And then gradually people start leaving work from about 3 p.m. onwards, as you can see over there, right? It repeats itself. Now, the peak times again, this is where you want to be in the business areas, the 5 p.m. marks. That's when you're driving people home, right? And generally on weekdays, let's say around after the 7 p.m. mark, it dies down and it really starts crashing because these are quiet nights. These are not clubbing nights. These are not entertainment nights. So you'll see the graph really dip down to an all-time low around about like 1 or 2 a.m., right? So this, if you can fit in the peaks, right, and you can fit in the 2-hour shift here or the 3-hour shift here, you have 5 effective hours following the very same graph. And that goes for all the metropolitan cities. So we will discuss the next following 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday. So as mentioned before, the Wednesday and Thursday graph will truly follow the Monday, Tuesday graph. Why? Because you're looking at weekdays, and again, peaking in the morning, driving into work, driving into the airports, complete slow down, dipping down 10, 11, 11:30, starts picking up for lunch, couple of business trips there around that area, and then people start heading home from about 4 p.m. onwards, peaking at 5:30, 6, and then really dying down. Again, the quietest hours will be pretty much 11:30, 12, 1, 2 a.m. in the morning. We will now look at the Friday and Saturday graph, which I can tell you already are going to be completely different. So if you compare the Friday, Saturday graphs, ladies and gentlemen, you really have to do some adjustments here because the afternoon working period is pretty much identical from Monday to Thursday. You'll obviously be peaking in the morning, going inbound to work, to downtown, to the west side, etc., to all the business areas, 5:30 onwards, to the airports. Slopes exactly the same way on Friday, in and around the 10:30, 11:30 mark, and then starts picking up. Now on Fridays, notoriously, people will be leaving earlier, right? So you will start, instead of like a 3:30 pickup, you'll start seeing the traffic and the demand picking up from about 3 p.m. going all the way through to 5:30, 6 p.m. It will die down then, and then people go out, right? And that's around the 7, 8 mark. That'll be sort of around there. People will going out wining and dining, right? And it's generally busy right around this time as well, way higher than during the week time. If you can compare on Saturday, this is busy time, right? Now, this is where people are sort of clubbing and doing their thing, and you will see another spike after this. It'll go up again, right? Because there's a little spike here, and then there's a little spike there on a Saturday night, and that's because of the 2 a.m. rule when the clubs stop. So truly look at your Monday to Saturday graph. We are now going to add one more graph to the mix, ladies and gentlemen. If we now compare the Saturday, which is this one, to the Sunday, right? The Sunday looks very, very different, right? Not much activity going on in the morning, but as you can see, you know, whether it's 7, 8 a.m. mark, maybe, you know, people are heading to the beaches, people are going out, enjoying the weekend. There's definitely a huge spike up and around 11 a.m. when people are definitely going out and having fun on a Sunday, wherever they're going to, a party, the beach, wherever it is, shopping. And there's a nice little late afternoon pickup around like 4:30 to 7 p.m. This is generally people going out, wining, dining, and then winding down, getting ready for an early night before the Monday kicks in. So these are the graphs generally that follow the same pattern for all the big metropolitan cities. Thank you. So, my friends, the 12-hour shifts, right? And this could be for students, for moms, pops. They want to get up super early and get in a quick 2 hours. Monday to Saturday, 6 times 2 early morning hours. And that would literally be 5:30 to 7:30, or maybe 6 to 8. There's a lot happening in those 2 hours before your kids go to school, before you start your main job. Why not get in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 hours each? That would be 6 times 2 hours. That is how I get to the 12 hours, right? I would consider that as a part-time shift. Forget the rest of the week, forget the rest of the hours. That is a possibility for many people working out there. It's a real possibility for many people setting the alarm early, especially seniors that love to get up super early. Students don't necessarily like to get up early. They might be out partying, and the early morning shifts are just not their cup of tea, right? Now, the second 7.5 hour shifts are those afternoon ones, 4 to 5:30, right? Because that's peak traffic time Monday to Saturday after work. Fact is, you go to work, you got to leave work. You're not staying overnight at work. You don't have a bed at work. You want to get home to your house, to your family, right? So it's proven on these graphs around the country that generally people will leave 4 to 5:30. On Friday, many people even leave earlier. That's reflected in the Friday graph, that the traffic actually starts picking up at 3:30, right? Okay, that would be considered our second 7.5 hour shift. Right, now, so let's say you're in the entertainment business, online business, you're working from home. You can do a morning and a late afternoon shift. You got yourself right there, 19.5 or 20 hours, call it 20 hours. The third shift, ladies and gentlemen, and I see this a lot, right? People that are working Monday to Friday, to Saturday even, maybe a 6-day, and they have the weekend free. They want to have fun during the day, but they want to go out and work at night. The fact is, at night, if you look at all of these graphs throughout the cities, the 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. shifts are the most interesting ones, the most busy ones. You'll make the most money there. The highest surges, the busiest hours. Those 2 days, Friday and Saturday night, 3 hours, 3 hours, I refer to it as the 6-hour shifts. The 2 3-hour shifts equals 6. They will make you the most money. After 11 p.m., a lot of people will have more alcohol in the blood, more riffraff, more problems, more vomiting. Sure, you can go through till 2, 3 a.m. in the morning if you're hardcore. Now, this is more, my video is geared towards part-time workers. For the full-time workers who are putting in 40, 50, 60 hours, right? In my life, I will never ever work 60 hours again. No, you got to work smart, not hard, right? To burn out, to sit in that position 50, 60 hours a week. I totally understand it and respect it if you have to make ends meet. But you got to work smarter. You can work 30 to 35 hours smart and still make the same money as somebody who's working 45, 50 hours. If you take a few hours out, work on your social media every day, build out other income channels, go and take online courses in your car or at home, get your real estate license, right? You can start setting yourself up with a second or third job, a side hustle, a main hustle. You do not have to burn yourself out, ladies and gentlemen. This is unhealthy living, putting 50 to 60 hours. I'm not encouraging that. I do, however, respect if you have to do that to make ends meet. I know there's several drivers out there. I know one driver in Chicago that does big hours and he reports on those big hours, but he loves his job, okay? And I respect that. If you love your job and you want to put in big hours, you love being with people, cool, right? But I do want you to look at the health side of things. And I do also want you to look at all the other avenues how you can monetize yourself within the rideshare industry. I do have a link underneath called ridesharedrivingschool.com that pretty much teaches you how to work smart, not hard, and rearrange those hours and look where you make the most. This model is for people, specifically for students, for moms that, that need a side hustle, that have a few hours here, have a few hours there, right? You could do the 12-hour shifts, the 7.5-hour shifts, or all three, which total 25.5 hours of your week, right? You could easily do those 3 different types of shifts 25 to 26 hours, and still have that entire morning to late afternoon to do your main job, to look after your family, right? So these are models, share your feedback. I'd love to hear how you break down the week. What your schedule looks like. And again, I am not attacking any UberX or Lyft driver that is putting in big hours. I completely understand why you're doing it. I would just like you to look at your hours and look at other possibilities, right? How can you rearrange your week? I have taught hundreds and hundreds of drivers how to rearrange their week and work smarter, right? In fact, I'm going to do another video on a guy right now who really sticks out. His success curve is like this. We started off, came out of the trucking industry. I don't want to talk too much about him because I'm going to make a separate video about him. You'll see it in my channel. And he rearranged his hours and he made a big, huge business out of it. So, my friends, if you have any questions on this, if this sounds foreign to you, right, please reach out to me. This is a great model for even seniors or army vets or somebody that just wants to put in a few hours a week, or people studying and they need some side income. It's a great part-time model, hours for success. Drive safe.